On this episode, Dude, Brett, and Tyler sit down with their 2023 Bourbon Blitz guests to kill 3 bottles of bourbon while discussing day 1 on their annual trip to Kentucky. If you ever wanted to listen to 5 drunk conversations at once, then listen in to find out what they killed and hear about their trip on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. But before we get started, do you want to support our podcast? Do you like bourbon gear? Visit our website at www.bourbonhunters.com to buy some of our custom bourbon gear and support the podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I am Duke Poole. I'm joined by
Tyler Schaefer.
And Martel, Uncle Ron,
JD,
Heath,
Jeff,
Bert, and Ernie.
Apparently we got Bert and Ernie here.
Jason C.
So you guys are sleeping together tonight?
I mean, Bert and Ernie did sleep in the same bed.
That's
they
what
were
I'm
the
saying.
first, couple on TV to make that okay.
Hey, Bert. Hey, Bert. Hey, Bert. Hey, Bob. Hey, Bert.
That's right next
I got to
me.
be Ernie. I'm taller, so
Yeah,
Cookie Monster.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bert. All right, so this is our barrel kill episode. This is the beginning of our
Barrel kill?
Yeah, we're going to kill a barrel tonight. You guys didn't know that, right? I'm rolling a bottle kill episode. Sorry. So we got 3 bottles we're killing tonight. This is the end of season 4. So this is the first episode in the end of season 4. And we've got 3 bottles that we're killing tonight. The first one is a little surprise for Tyler. It's I guess I may as well pour a little better than that so I don't have to come back. Poor Man's Pappy. And that is with a custom label that has Tyler's picture on it. And it says 33 years old, which
beautiful.
is his birth year or age this year, I should say, from his birthday. He just
Am I 33?
You are now.
Well,
That's what your wife told me the other
Poor
night.
man's Pappy, 33 year. That's rare.
Your wife told me that the other night.
Super
33.
rare.
1990.
So,
Really rare.
if you're not familiar with Poor Man Pappy, there's a lot of different rogue labels that get created for this, and people use their creativity with this. I'll post a picture of this one online when we post this episode, but it's basically one of the good pictures of
That's
Tyler
gonna be
that we
enough
all
to last
like.
me all night.
And no, it's not. And so it's made up of
big guy.
40% Weller 12
Christ on a
and
cracker.
60% Weller Antique 107.
That one's almost
So,
killed.
as you can tell, we've got 9 of us on the trip this year. We started the Bourbon Trail this morning. It is our Bourbon Blitz. This is the 5th annual that we've done. We've grown every year, I think, except for one. And so just kind of a real quick recap of the day as we get into this Pappy, or Poor Man's Pappy, if you will. So Bourbon Blitz. I mean, this is your second year on it, Jason. What is your experience so far, just Bourbon Blitz on day 1?
It's been it was more organized this year, I feel like. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're
Or
welcome.
maybe there just wasn't so much available. We do these bourbon blitzes, and you kind of hope that you find some good stuff at each and every distillery. Four Roses, I think, actually had the most stuff. They had every single recipe on their private barrel selection all available to buy. You could buy any recipe you want. Obviously, it was different tiers, different warehouses, whatever it is, whatever it may be. But that was kind of crazy. It's like, here's all 10, pick one. And you're like, So we were kind of staring at that for a little bit. But doing Buffalo Trace, today was Colonel Taylor Day. Thank God, not Blanton's.
Right? Blanton's.
Yeah, then we went to Wild Turkey, which there wasn't too much going on at Wild Turkey today.
No,
However,
but we got to see Bode. We got to have a
We got
drink
to see
and
Bo Garrett,
get
have
a
a
free
nice
rocks
cocktail. Yeah, I got a free rocks glass. And then we hit Four Roses. And then we went to, Lux Row.
Lux Row, then Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill.
Yep.
Not too much going on over there either. I mean, we got some bottles, but
Well, Lux Row, we had the 12 year, which some years they've had it, some years they haven't. So
Yeah.
that was nice. So the double barrel 12 year.
Heaven Hill apparently released the William Heaven Hill 17 year this morning, which we missed.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we missed there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I
they
mean, how many
released-
people are in line for that?
I don't know, but they released about 400 to 500 bottles, and they were all gone.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There was probably a line of 400 or 500 people outside.
Oh, easily.
Because they release the day before. What
Once
they're
you
doing,
find
so,
out, once you find out, everyone just kind of lines up. So
10 per person.
So
Yeah.
we'll save the last part of the day for a little bit further into the discussion, but with every year, the first day is just a blitz from gift shop to gift shop to gift shop, trying to get what we can. And some of us got a little bit more at Four Roses than others.
You're welcome.
And how was that? How was that possible? What happened there, Jeff?
My wife was in the car.
According to the person behind the counter,
It was not my fault.
that was her idea. That was a great.
it, yeah.
I was checking out, and she said, "Is this all?" I said,
We've
"Unless
told
I
you
can get
100
another."
times. Tyler is not your wife, dude.
Well, he actually
Today he
sometimes.
was.
Today he was, yeah.
Well, that's nice. I mean, you ended up getting 2, and then after we left Heaven Hill, we decided to just swing by the bottling plant of Four Roses, and we were able to pick up another bottle. So that was nice.
Which I had no clue existed. I just kept asking Tyler, "Why the fuck are we going back to Four Roses?"
You didn't know that place existed? Okay.
No idea.
I'd never been there
Sometimes they have separate releases. So, like, they'll have a release exclusive to that location sometimes. So I was just like, well, since we're going by there, it's on the way to where we're going. Why don't we just check it out? And
I think it's cool that both places had like all 10 different recipes, which I know they were sold out of one recipe at the first, but the other, sorry.
What was the recipe they sold out on the first one? At the first place?
OBSV.
Yeah,
The
they had
BSV
everything
was
but
gone,
that
yeah.
one.
Oh, okay.
And
That
then the
was the
second
only one that
one,
was
they
going, yeah.
they didn't have quite as much at the second one. I'm not sure what all was still
I think
available.
they had all the recipes.
They
I
had
think
all
they
the
just didn't
recipes.
have
At
as
the
big of a
second one, they
display.
set
up at the
Yeah,
first
they just
place.
didn't
The
have
first one was out of
that,
one.
big display, but they had the display wall or that big poster that
Yeah,
they had up on
all
the
the
wall was sitting
recipes.
on the floor in front of the table.
Yeah.
They were just putting all the shit on the table.
So before we break into the rest of the day, which was kind of the highlight of the day in my opinion, minus the bottles we got, let's nose and talk about this Poor Man's Pappy. I already introduced it a little bit. I think we figured it's like a 101.3 proof or something. I have to do the math, and I can do that while other people are talking. But like I said before, it's 40% Weller 12, 60% Weller Antique 107. And it's been mingling in the bottle for about 2 weeks now. I made a label for it that has a picture of Tyler on it. It says Poor Man's Pappy. It says 33 years old, which is his... is it coming off?
It's starting to come off because of the drippings.
Yeah. And then I also got one of those heat seal tops for it so that it
You're welcome for that
had to be
one,
opened. So
The drippings.
Can I save a little bit and take it?
No.
if you want. Yeah. We can... I mean, we got 2 other bottles to get through, so... We can kill all but like a sip of it for him, I think.
I really want
think
to
that's
know
fair.
what
Yeah, put it on your shelf or something. That'd
favorite
be cool.
Tyler moment was today already.
Oh,
Because I'm already starting getting some right now.
yeah. All right, go ahead if you got one on net. So favorite Tyler moment, go. There we go. You brought it up.
It's like every 5 minutes there's one right in front of your face.
There is. I mean, that's why
Ron's trying to
this
take a
trip
picture
is
of the
so
bottle
fun.
and he just picks it up and takes it from him.
I mean, that's honestly why the trip's so fun, is all the Tyler moments. So,
Other than
Give him the mic so everyone can hear.
What did you ask at Jim Beam? That was super stupid.
you said you had a dumb question.
when she said we're distilling Booker's right now, I was like, how did you know that? And she's like, the sign right behind you.
That was one moment. That was the biggest one. But you said you said, hey, I have a stupid question for you, and as we were walking.
Oh, as we were walking to the entrance.
And I said, there's no dumb questions, just dumb people that ask questions.
Yeah, I don't remember what that one
It
was.
was on our way into the...
One. It was a separate one that
Yeah.
no one was around for. It was just.
I remember,
just Jeff.
I remember the
I don't
moment, and I just don't remember
what-
the question.
What's
All
the
right,
question?
let's
Jeff?
nose this. So this is a combination of 2 Weller. Same mash bill as the
So it's Wellers
Pappy.
then? Is this Wellers
This
we're having?
this would officially be Wellers.
Okay. Plural combined of 2 Weller.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, this is actually a good
Wellers.
time you could actually use it.
Yeah, it's
2
Wellers.
Wellers.
So this is the same
Wellers.
mash bill. If you know the history of Pappy, Pappy was originally made by Stitzel Weller, or that location, and then Diageo came in and bought up Stitzel Weller. They allowed Julian Van Winkle to take the name of Pappy and continue it on, and he started to buy barrels from Stitzel Weller that he knew would be worthy of Pappy. And then from there, who was the distillate in between there and Buffalo Trace? In between Diageo and Buffalo Trace when he was buying barrels. Who did he go to as a stopgap between that and Buffalo Trace?
I actually don't remember.
MGP?
No.
I'm kidding.
MGP.
It might have even been Heaven Hill or something like that. I don't
It might
remember.
have been.
Heaven Hill would make sense.
But so anyway, there was a stopgap in between that, and then in 2001 or so, Buffalo Trace started distilling Pappy using the Weller line, basically, and mash bill that they were already using. And so I think Julian is still on the tasting committee, right, for that every year for
Yes, he is.
when they release it. So that's why Poor Man Pappy people use Weller to make it, because it's the same mash bill, and they feel like they can get something similar to it. So what do you get on the nose? Go, Ron.
Vanilla, caramel. Yeah, vanilla, caramel.
Marcel.
A little bit of baking spice.
A little baking spice. All right, that's interesting. It's a wheat, so that's a little interesting on that one. Do you get anything on this one, Jason? Have you done this yet? On
Yeah,
the
I'm actually getting a lot of those wheated bourbon notes.
Yeah.
It's coming off. I get a lot of the wheat
Such
grain.
as?
A lot of the wheat grain.
Yeah.
I could smell. It's a little bit fruit forward too, but it's very Buffalo Tracy. It's very sweet. A little bit of like a cherry in there.
Heath?
It's nice.
I was gonna say the
No one
cherry,
can
but
see you nodding your head on this.
He beat me to it. You know.
So a little bit of
Just
cherry.
Stole the words.
You got a
from
little bit
my
of cherry on it.
Yeah.
All right, and then hand that over to Tyler. Let's get Tyler's feedback. Oh, here we go. Tyler, moment number 27.
Bubble
It's
gum.
good.
It's good.
Yeah, hand it
good.
over.
It's
Hand it
good.
to JD.
It's
Let
good.
JD give us an actual opinion that actually is worth hearing.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Give it to JD for the
it's,
love of God. Don't make
It's
me.
good.
edit the
I
crap
like
out of
that you
this.
can get some of the oakiness from the 12-year in there,
Yeah.
but it's also.
You get any of the cherry notes that they were talking about? Vanilla, anything?
I don't.
Okay. Hand it over to JD real quick. JD, what do you get? Anything special on the nose?
It's great.
Okay, Tyler. Holy crap. I know it's Tyler's birthday
It smells
weekend.
like a
but
bouquet of flowers, and I get that cherry.
yeah.
It's like a maraschino type cherry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then while they're handing that over to Jeff, what do you get, Brett, on the schnoz?
So, I mean, I'm kind of having flavor overload. We've been drinking lots of things all day. We
Yeah.
had pizza. I think I just ate a Tums because I have reflux. So, I mean, I get that
And you're
vanilla
old.
caramel, and I'm old. Yeah. But I'm kind of having flavor overload right now.
Let the schnoz take control.
Yeah,
Trust
I'm
the
trying.
schnoz. Trust the
I
schnoz.
feel like an apricot.
A little apricot. What do you get?
Why did you not make Tyler go last so that he would repeat everything everyone said?
Right. So he didn't have to actually come up with something unique.
Exactly.
That's why I had him go first, so people know that that's all he's ever doing is repeating what he's already heard. So what do you get, Jeff?
It's just like a diluted 107 to me.
Oh, okay.
Was there an age statement on 107, or am I misremembering? I feel like it's no age statement.
I don't
right?
believe
No,
it.
there's no age
The only
statement.
one
Like
that's
the
age
average-
stated, I think, is the 12.
Yeah, that's kind of clear.
Is it?
Like
107 and Special Reserve are set to be 6 to 8 years old. So
okay,
So we're looking at a
9 year.
I don't get
6
as much
to 12
spice.
year.
I don't get the spice that I usually do on 107 with this, though.
Yeah,
It
because
is-
I don't like
It's a
107.
lot more
yeah,
mellow.
Yeah, it is
that 12
definitely
year
a little
really
more mellow.
that 12 year really rounds it out.
For sure.
Right.
You said it's 40-60, 40%
Light in
12 year.
color.
Is that what you said, dude?
Say again.
40-60, 40% 12 year.
Yes,
Okay.
60% 107. So go ahead and take a drink of this, and then tell me what you guys.
How much is the glass?
See
Like,
see the difference in color in just
Yeah.
the two glasses?
yeah, isn't that wild?
Because
Well-
Tyler kept saying it's light in color, and I was like, no, look in the other glasses.
Yeah, I think it's just the way that glass is.
Was
a
it
little
against
more-
the table too? Like if you hold it up?
Yeah, no.
Well, I think it's just the way that glass
So
is
I think the
curved.
table does some of it too, though.
For sure. But it's, oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
that one's raised the way
Yeah.
that and this one's sitting on the table. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
I think it's like the light refraction. What's the word I'm looking for?
So Martel, what do you get on the taste here on the palate?
It's a wheat.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. I get a little bit of
A little softer with the-
softer, a little oakiness to it that from that 12-year.
What I do find for me, agreed with that, 100% soft on the front of the palate, but then as it goes towards the back of the palate, I feel like it actually kicks up a little bit of
Gets a little harsher.
spicy, a little harsher,
Yeah.
has a little bit of a lingering finish to it, which is not a bad finish.
No.
And like I think it was Jeff mentioned or Brett mentioned, we've had a lot to eat today, and I don't know how much my palate's been affected by this, by all the food and the pizza sauce, the tomato sauce, and all that stuff. But
And Tums.
I didn't have any Tums though. So, but it does have a little bit of an interesting longer finish to me than I'm used to with either 107 or 12. So that's interesting to me. What do you get, Ron?
Yeah, it's more viscous.
Yeah.
Well, I said the vanilla, the caramel. I think the wheat a little bit of that like bread taste, but I don't. To me, it just tastes hot. Same thing. I don't know if it's from that fucking pizza we ate.
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
Hot burning pizza.
We had a hot honey pizza for dinner. Most
I'm
of us
almost
did.
like
so.
I agree with Tyler. Like save a little bit of that, and I would love for someone to try it tomorrow. And is it really that amazing, or are we all just like meh? You know what I mean? Like just that it's really
I don't know
underwhelming.
that
in
anyone
general.
ever says that this is an amazing thing.
Okay.
I think it's just people's attempt at trying to come up with something that's similar to Pappy without having to pay $1,000.
But I guess my point with that is then Pappy's underwhelming. I guess is the point I'm trying to make. If this is that similar to Pappy,
I don't know that it is or it isn't. I've
Yeah.
never done a taste test next to each other. So
I mean, I know I had the Van Winkle the 1 year on our trip somewhere, and I don't remember which one it was.
the
versus
1
what
year
Van
Winkle.
Yeah, don't you remember I had the one of our years on the trip?
Oh, I was like, I don't
We
know
were
the
in
1 year.
The 1 year.
The 1 year.
It was loppy.
I forget where. God damn, where were we?
Was it at a bar?
No, it was a liquor store that had like in the back. There's a bar.
Oh, Westport
Whiskey and Wine. Yes.
Westport Whiskey
So
and Wine.
I had purchased a pour of
Forgot about that, yeah.
one of the Van Winkles there,
Yeah.
and it was underwhelming for the hype. It was underwhelming 100%,
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that like if this is probably similar because
Okay.
it's underwhelming.
What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, overall, the Pappies, every time I've tried it, it's been pretty underwhelming. My favorite of the three distinct Pappies between 50, 20, 23 has
15.
always been
15.
the 15. Yeah, it's always been the 15. The 20 can be pretty good, too. The 23, I just think, is just – it's so oaky and too low of proof, so that's all you really get is some of the oak. I mean, there are some other good flavors there, especially when they age it. Obviously, each year it's different, and some years are better than others. And that I totally understand, but nobody has that time, type of time to be like, I'm going to buy one each and every year and see how they differ and how they're, similar. That's just not going to happen for, the average person. So
Well, that makes sense.
yeah, I just generally don't think. I think if people actually really give Pappy a chance, and if they go to a bar and they're trying it, have a bartender blind it against something else that's a lot cheaper. Because I'm telling you, most people would think it's underwhelming compared to a lot of the other great stuff that's available. It just is. It's just the truth.
What do you think, JD?
I was actually going to say something along the lines of Brett. That if this is really what Pappy is like, I kind of prefer the Weller Antique 107 by itself
Yeah.
over this.
Yeah.
I know this is an attempt at something to be reciprocal to it, but I would rather just drink your Antique straight up neat, like the screw cap that we did the other night. That was fantastic.
Well, then happy birthday, Tyler.
It's a cool novelty, and it's a very cool
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, the picture was the best part, I think.
Yeah, I think the 107 gives you the flavors you want in a nice wheated bourbon, but adding that 12-year kind of rounds out. It gives you the oaky flavors that you would, maybe typically find in a Pappy. So.
And you're welcome for opening my 12-year instead of fucking selling it.
Not that we sell bourbon. I mean, no one.
Yeah,
does
we
that.
don't do that.
That's not a thing.
Gift it.
So, does anyone have, like, show of hand real quick, does anyone really enjoy this?
It's okay.
It's just
It's a nice
okay.
sipper.
Like I hate to say that, but it's just okay.
But okay, it's not bad. No one thinks it's bad.
yeah,
No.
I'm not going to be like, oh, we got to make that again. You know
I
what
would-
I mean?
if I-
Like,
Not like the 1915 Hyman edition.
that 19. I would take the 1915 over this in a blind.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to have these all side by
Did you have the
side.
1915
Yeah.
with us?
The 12
That was
separate,
really
the
effing
antique
good. The
separate,
107
and
and this,
yes.
Yeah.
I think
that picture.
we would prefer them separate, but also maybe I
That's
would
the one
prefer
I
this
have.
over the 12-year.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's
typically-
not much I wouldn't prefer over the 12-year,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Because even the Weller Special Reserve,
Definitely the 107.
it doesn't have as
but-
much flavor profile to it, but it has a softness to it that makes it easy to just drink all night if you wanted to. So we're just going to continue to sip on this, and then we'll talk about
Tyler's airball experience today.
Oh, that's pretty funny too.
Yeah, I guess
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
that was pretty damn funny. So we're driving. We're in a big van, like a
Creep
peta van. Yeah, peta
White,
van.
no windows.
And so we're driving from Heaven Hill. We're on our way to our next experience.
in a small. What was it? Was it Lawrenceburg?
Bardstown. We're in Bardstown.
Were we in Bardstown at the
Yeah,
time?
we were leaving Heaven Hill
We're
on our way
leaving.
to our next place. Promise.
Okay.
And
Promise.
So we were in Bardstown, and we're pulling around this property, and it looks like a tennis court. So both Tyler and I are looking off to our left, as we're
But
We're not driving fast. We're probably driving
we're
30
going like
miles an
15
hour.
miles per hour in between stop signs.
Yeah.
And this, whatever court starts to make itself a little bit clearer, and it ends up being a basketball court. And just as I'm looking at it, and Tyler saw the same thing I did, this guy's taking his shot. It looked like his first shot of the day, maybe. He airballed by like 5 feet. And then
Yeah, he tried to Kobe the shot too. It wasn't like
Oh, did he hang his hand out there?
yeah,
like
it was
Kobe
like a
did?
jump. It
and
was
a little
jump
bit of a
shot.
fader, kind of a fade
Yeah.
back.
He was in full action Kobe jump shot, and he came up like 3
It was
feet,
like 5 feet short. It was
That's
terrible.
fantastic.
And
And then I think
instantly
he
I
started looking around like, did anyone see that type of thing?
Yeah,
It's
he
like when you fall
instantly.
down in public to see if, like, the first thing you do is who saw me fall, and then you assess your injury.
Right.
And I just started crying.
And
Well, he's lucky
and
because
then
the only people that saw it was the van full of 9 guys.
So, had we thought fast enough, I
Such
would have
a
rolled down
fucking
my
degenerate.
I would have rolled down my window and heckled,
Airball. Yeah.
or we would have pulled back around and heckled or something. We're gonna sit here until you make one, or something like. But
We'd still be there.
that was so fun. Yeah, we would still be there. That was if that first shot was any indication.
I
that's
mean, I
for sure.
totally missed it. I can't be honest with that. I don't know, but you could imagine.
So, the best thing for me
I
was
just found the video of Tyler sleeping, looking like he's naked 2 years ago on the trip.
was that after we killed
I
the
started videoing
the
him.
one?
I'm like, why are you going to sleep? You're like, I'm not. I was like, are you naked?
That was
He
bottle kill
no,
night?
Don't video my nipples. Just cover them up.
So that's another thing we can look forward to tonight, right? All right. So that was 2 years ago after Masters Keep 1, right? Yeah, in Bardstown. So after we left Heaven Hill, we got to see the airball incident, which was pretty funny. We laughed about that for about 5 minutes. And then we went to Jim Beam. And I think with the exception of maybe one or two of us, most of us had not been there before. And
Had anyone been there?
I think JD's
Oh,
been
JD
there,
had been
and
there.
so is Jeff.
Jeff, okay.
But I think the rest of us, it was our first trip. And so originally what I had set up was a heritage tasting. And then 2 weeks ago, I got a call from someone at Jim Beam, and they started asking me all these questions about the trip and stuff. And I'm like, I felt like I already answered all these questions. And so I was, probably 5 minutes into this, and I was like, I feel like I've already answered all these. Is this not in our profile when we signed up? And they're like, oh, well, for the tour, we're trying to get as much. And I'm like, tour? We just signed up for a tasting. And he goes, oh, did they not tell you? I was like, tell me what? And he's like, well, you've been selected and bumped up to a legacy tour, which is a VIP tour. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, is that okay with you guys? Can you guys fit that in? I said, well, you guys are our last thing of the day, so that's fine. And so he started asking me some more questions, getting some of the custom stuff on that. And then I'm sitting there texting Jason thinking that he had done something in the background. So I'm like, hey, what did you do? What did you do something with Jim Beam? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so as I'm texting him, the guy said, oh, yeah, Ariel Yan from Woodinville, you guys interviewed her a couple years ago, and she now works here. And she recognized your name, and she decided to give you guys basically a VIP legacy tour.
That's so cool.
And,
she was really nice when we interviewed her.
Yeah,
by the
she
way.
was
Very
super
generous.
nice. She was
Because
really, really
they
good.
sent us 3 full bottles. Do you
They
remember
did.
that?
Yeah, they did. And so we got to do that today. And so that was really probably one of the best tours I've been on. But they gave us a behind-the-scenes kind of tour, and it was a little more custom in the fact that I think they could determine right away that we knew a little bit more about bourbon than the average, tour people. So they didn't give us the 51% corn and all that crap, that they normally give you at every tour, which is great. It's good information, but like they give that at every tour. So if you go
Right.
on more than one tour in a weekend, you've heard that
heard
like
it.
over and over and over again. And even when you just go to tastings, like they even said that today at Buffalo Trace during the tasting. It was like, okay, yeah, we know, but most people don't. So you have to kind of just grin and bear it when you're doing these things. But so they gave us a little bit of an insight. We saw some of the same things that the regular tour got. We got to see the back end, the bottling area. We got to see
The fermenters.
the fermenters and all that kind of stuff. But what was really nice is then they took us a little bit further. We got to, and I think this is part of the regular tour too. We got to do the Knob Creek single barrel, thumbprint thing at the top, bottle your own.
Kind of.
Kind of bottle your own, but you help
You
in the
clean it.
process. Yeah,
Clean it.
You
yeah.
clean it.
You cleaned it and put it in the,
You put your
bottling
thumbprint
line.
on it.
and then you thumbprint it.
You pick
Yeah.
the bottle.
You pick the bottle.
Yeah, then you take the wax off and the wax explodes.
That's just a part of the Knob Creek experience.
It is. It's the Knob Creek
It
experience.
like crumbles everywhere.
It does, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they cleaned the bottles with bourbon versus water, like
Yeah.
Heaven Hill
plays,
did
yeah.
with the water.
Now, when they clean it with water there, they at least air it out.
Right.
But, yeah, that was cool because, you're not leaving residual water in there, possibly proofing it down.
Yeah, to
some.
like mess with the flavor.
Yeah. But all that was really cool. But the thing that we got to do that most people didn't is we got to go to the Freddie B. No distiller building.
Yeah, this is the new distiller that was opened only a few years ago.
For experimental type stuff.
Yeah,
and
doing
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
fucking drink your
experimental
drink.
distilling.
I have been.
Bullshit.
Mine was pretty full. First off, I poured it because I said, I don't want to have it back to me. So anyway, it was the experimental section, and we also got to. That's where Booker's is also distilled, and so we got to go in there. They gave us some of the Booker White Dog.
Yeah, Booker's.
and we had that in a probably at least 1 or 2 ounce pour. I felt like mine was
Yeah.
a heavy pour.
And
Yeah,
so
that
like
was butter.
to go back a little bit on some of that.
Put it
So
on
when we
your
went
potatoes.
through the regular rick house where they're making the distillate for like the white label Jim Beam, they
Yeah.
call it. That distillate was coming out. She said 30 gallons a minute. So
Is that what it was?
that was
30
it was
gallons
30
a
gallons a minute, and it was insane. Just like it was probably like I don't know, a 3 or 4 inch in diameter pipe, just like pouring
Yeah,
that shit
just
out.
shooting out
And then we
freaking
went to the
distillate.
Booker No one. It was coming out at
was like
3
dribbling.
gallons a minute.
Yeah, it was like dribbling out,
1/10. Yeah, 1/10 less. And she said that they like to slow down. Quality control is more important. So I thought that was cool to see the difference between those two.
Who said they wanted to put the white dog on the potatoes?
JD,
That
I
was
believe.
JD.
JD,
Because he said it reminded him of cream corn.
could you
He just wanted
explain
some
yourself?
cream corn. I feel like he said that.
He did say that, and it got quite a reaction from our tour guide. Never heard anything like it, and I don't blame one bit. So
She liked it.
I said that I wouldn't mind pouring this on my scoop ski mashed potatoes because when I was nosing it, all I could smell was like cream corn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was like cream corn. It was like butter corn. It was like,
Scoop potatoes.
popcorn. It was covered in butter. Like it was like a movie theater butter popcorn.
It was
like
super
butter.
buttery.
Yeah, it was like butter.
Like butter.
Pure
baby.
butter.
Like butter.
Butter for you.
It was
butter.
incredible.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not a
Not only
huge
the
white
smell
dog
and
fan,
taste
but
of it, yeah.
but God, that was
Yeah, the taste of it was
creamy.
good.
It
Yeah.
was viscous. It was just good.
It's better than the
All
Buffalo
of
Trace White Dog for sure.
it was good. And the other thing I thought that was interesting today was the fact that they talked about how they put the same mash bill potentially in barrels at different barrel proofs.
Yeah, so
Barrel
I
entry proof.
took a photo of the entry proof for the
I just thought that was really cool because I'd never really known of a place that does that. Like they all either put it in at 125 or 115 or whatever, but there's no variation. And I thought it was neat
for
that
all
they
you
varied that.
all you whiskey nerds out there, Jim Beam White Label enters the barrel at 125 proof. It's bottled at 80 proof and it's 4 years old. Knob Creek enters the barrel at 125 proof as well. It's bottled at 100 proof and is aged 9 years. But Basil Hayden, everyone's favorite, enters the barrel at 115 proof.
Which is wild.
It's
Like-
bottled at 80 and it's 6 years old. Now, I've never really heard of an age statement on Basil Hayden, but at least 6 years is the going rate, it looks like.
That was more than I thought it would be.
Me too. I
Well,
thought
I think it's that low proof that throws you off. That 80
Yeah.
proof.
To be fair, my first ever non-dark rum Basil Hayden that I've ever had was today when we had it in the tasting.
Yeah, we haven't.
that
we
was
haven't
that was the toasted.
Toasted.
That was the
It
toasted.
wasn't awful.
No,
No.
the toasted was good.
I love how we speak of Basil Hayden in terms of it wasn't awful.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of Basil Hayden, though.
I've
Like,
never really had it to know whether I am or not.
I honestly think it's one of the most overpriced, terrible bourbons on the
Yeah,
market.
I
It's
tried
like
it.
it's like a $60 bottle for 80 proof.
Well,
It's
you're paying for the
ridiculous.
packaging.
I tried that a couple years ago,
More
and it
than
had soap.
It's more than
tastes like soap.
60.
Like
Damn.
cilantro.
How much is
Cilantro,
it?
that's probably the. So
The tenure was highly.
so we finished up the
Well, the
VIP
10-year,
experience.
And the toast, I want to say, was, I think we got for $80.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, toasted for 80.
So the end of the VIP experience, they took us down into the basement of that same distillery, and there was a bar. And while we were in there was another group that was in the
Made it a
room
barrel
next
pick.
to us doing a barrel pick.
See that
yeah.
guy's hat? He looked like Indiana
I'm
Jones.
guessing.
off
What
to
did
the
they?
side.
What did they
Yeah, I
say
don't
they
know what's
were?
happening in
Knob
that
Creek.
room.
Knob Creek. That's
Yeah.
what I figured. Is that the only thing they do? Single barrel. picks
Right
up?
now, sometimes they'll open up Baker's picks. They don't really do any Booker's picks. They don't do any of those stuff. Yeah,
50.
and so yeah, it's
For the
it's
toast,
mainly
yeah,
Knob
the
Creek.
toast
They
is
do
50.
Knob Creek bourbon and also Knob Creek rye picks.
What's the age of their Knob Creek picks typically?
Bourbon or rye?
Bourbon. Let's see that.
Bourbon right now are typically 9 years.
Okay.
9 to 10 years
I
old.
feel like those are the 120 proofs.
Yeah, those are the
Right.
120 proofs.
Some of those drink fucking hot though. Is my only complaint with those.
My only complaint today at the gift shop was that they didn't have any 12-year. Does
I
that
know.
even get released anymore?
I mean,
12-year
goes to the
Knob
bar.
Creek, man. It's so
How
hard
much?
to find.
How much were your quote unquote bottle your own?
45.
Brett's was free.
Yeah,
Brett's
mine was
free.
5-finger discount.
Yeah.
They just gave it to him. They're like, well, whatever.
like, ah,
$60
whatever.
bucks.
We charged
59.
it.
Oh, was
We
it
charged
60?
it.
Oh,
enough,
it
yeah.
was
Oh, I
60.
thought you said
Yeah.
45.
Yeah, it was $60.
And
Oh,
what's
no,
the- what's
sorry.
the-
Taylor, E.H. Taylor was
What's
45.
the proof of those?
120.
120. Yeah.
Of the stuff you guys got today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we finished off with the tasting. In the tasting, there was
Interesting.
Basil Hayden Toasted. There was the rye version of Knob Creek, 7-year-old. Then we had the Hardens Creek, Boston.
Well, we had the
edition.
old Overhaul 10-year cast strength.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
So, the old Overholt 10-year cast strength was the last one. So we went through those 4, and then at the end they gave us a choice of a couple of other things, and we ended up doing 2 of them. Well, not everyone got to do 2. You got to choose one or the other. But you either did the Baker's 13 or you did the
Little Book 3.
Little Book 3.
Yeah, I had yelled out
Are
the
these
little
dude?
bit
Are
free.
these single barrel or small batch?
Single barrels?
Should be single barrels.
Well, they all say
Might just be
it
that
says
label.
single barrel right there.
Yeah, I know.
I think
It's-
that's just their label.
It's a weird thing. It's been one of those like weird.
Take it back.
Why is it a small batch single barrel? Like that doesn't make
So
sense.
what's
Elijah
this?
Craig
What's
did that
this?
too for
Did
a
they tell
while
the
with
story
those, like,
about
pigs.
why
It
the
is a
wax?
small batch.
It is a small
Looks like that?
batch of one.
I mean, that's true.
Hey, do we know the
get much
story on
smaller.
why they decided to do their wax top like that?
Well, they can't do it any other way, or they have a copyright or whatever infringement on Maker's Mark.
Makers is the only one that can hand dip.
They're the only ones that can have tendrils coming down.
Oh.
No matter the color, they're the only ones that can have tendrils.
Right, but makers can only have red.
I don't believe.
Makers patented only red wax.
No, they have sued people for other colors, and won.
Oh, because of the tendrils
And
for different colors.
and other types of liquor, with
because
tequila.
Makers would do that like limited edition where it's red then black wax on top of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll do it for baseball teams.
Basically, what was
Oh yeah, I've seen
determined.
like blue.
I think,
What
There's
are
that
we killing
UK
next?
one that's blue.
They did Astros.
if you read the bourbon,
done
if you read the
University of
Bourbon
Kentucky.
Justice,
That's the blue one. Yeah, I've seen that.
They've done a ton of them. They did one for Kobe. They did a whole bunch of them.
But that wax is so fucking brittle on those. It makes a
on
mess.
on the Knob Creek, yeah.
Yeah.
So and I think it's the way they do
fucking
it because they
peanut
dip it more than once, and I think it starts to cool, and then they do it again, and then I think that creates some separation for brittleness or something.
It's like a plastic.
But
They re-dipped it for us so that we could put our thumb
but
on
I
it.
I feel like maybe they do that anyway. It looked like they dipped it twice to begin with, and then they dip it after they started to clamp it, so that we could do the top. So they dipped it 3 times while we were doing
There's
it.
a little cap, like a wax cap that went on
Yeah.
first. Then it dipped. Then they dipped it again for us to put our thumb.
Well, then
in.
they had to
then
put
they
it in
clamped
the,
it,
yeah,
and
they
then
had to put
yeah,
it
they
in the
dipped it
mold
a third time for our dip.
Yeah.
For our thumb.
for our thumbprint.
When
So
I dip, you dip, we dip.
we all dipped.
My
we
dip,
all
you
dipped.
dip, we dip.
For sure.
Dip it good.
But anyway, if you read Bourbon Justice, the book by
Brian Harrah.
Harron,
Who reads?
I do.
Raise
and
your hand.
Everyone here but you,
I
apparently.
can't read, so.
Books on tape,
Generally, after
cassette. It's great.
coitus, Jillian will read beside me in bed. How many
Coitus.
books is she on?
Post-coital reading.
How many books has she said?
After coitus.
You just told us how many books she's read this year.
You said she's
And
like
she-
a reading
No,
machine.
And she generally reads a whole book after we've had sex. So that's how many times we've had sex this year.
Tyler, we should get you like a Teddy Ruxpin from the 80s
so-
and put like cassette tapes in them and they
Dude,
can read it to you.
He doesn't pay attention to what Jillian's reading because he's busy ripping off gas handles.
I just picture her like, oh man, that
My
was great.
takeaway
And
is-
she reaches over and pulls out the Bible, starts reading.
She's read the Bible 57 times this year.
My takeaway is Tyler's not tiring her out.
Oh.
No, it's free. It's free. Anyway, so I just took a sip. My
I didn't
God.
see anything.
Crack another one, bro.
Anyway,
You don't have to wait on us.
yeah, you don't have to wait on us.
Let's go sweet wheat
Do a
next.
little
So
Ritz.
listen, hey,
Sweet
real
wheat's
quick.
like drinking water.
Or it's a dessert.
I
We'll
was-
have it
I
with
was-
we'll have it without chocolate
Hey,
later.
hey, can I finish my thought, please? So in that book, Bourbon
No, you
Justice,
can-
they sued a tequila company who did a dipped bottle
With
that
white
had tendrils,
tendrils.
but it was white wax, and they won.
They got
So,
justice.
okay, legit question.
They did.
though.
They got Bourbon
Bourbon
Justice.
Justice.
Was Bourbon Justice.
Was it
We
a
should
tequila
make-
company
hey,
in Mexico or
Hey,
the
we should
States?
make a parody TV show that's like 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, for you.
And do like an LA Law type parody, but Bourbon Justice instead.
Bourbon Justice.
And then have
Recreate.
you do the intro where these people come and love whatever
Yeah.
whatever the intro is to LA Law.
But are those laws like international? Like if it came from Mexico, can you still not do it? Or how does that work? If it comes from Mexico and only sold in Mexico, could they get away with it?
No, it's only U.S.
So you could
Trademark.
get away with it.
Probably.
I don't know. I'm not an attorney.
I mean,
I'm asking.
here's
I
the
would
thing.
depend on also the entities that maybe Makers has there, and then all the
And you see a lot of clubs
trademark
taking
stuff there.
their picks and dipping them in wax and
Yeah.
doing stuff
Like
like
I
that.
have a-
And so like
Yeah.
a Weller.
you have a Weller.
A Weller foolproof that it was dipped,
dipped in wax.
after the fact,
Right,
though.
right. It wasn't dipped by Weller.
yeah.
It was dipped by the club.
Right. So you can't.
No,
like,
no, it was
go
dipped
after
after.
Right.
the distiller.
You dipped it.
Yeah, I dipped it.
And then Brett dipped it.
I bought a candle.
And then we
I have
dipped
no
it.
idea.
I bought a candle.
Anyway, so
Martel, don't say too much over there.
real quick, we're jumping ahead now to the Sweet Wheat 1792 bottle number 2 now. Bottle number 2. Before we get into that, go around the horn here, starting with Jeff. What was your
Yes,
thoughts
sir.
on the experience at Jim Beam?
So the only time I was at Jim Beam before, it was like 2019. We were on a Mint Julep tour. That was our first day. The end of our first day on our way back to Louisville, our guide, which she was amazing. I cannot say enough about that. Mint Julep and their tour guides.
Apparently you can't because you're already done.
Well, that's all it needs to say is they're the fucking best ones. So shut up, dude. I told you to start your business after him.
Fair enough. Proceed.
So we stopped there. I know I'm digressing. It's a long story, but we stopped there for like 10 minutes just to go inside and look
shop?
at the gift shop. We went up the elevator. I just think the elevator is cool because it's like
You made a big
metal
deal about
cage.
that elevator. That's for
Well, I
sure.
was trying to make.
Looks like
I
a
was-
column still.
Yeah, yeah. So we were only there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come back to do the tour, and then I thought we were only doing a tasting this time, so it was an awesome surprise. Emily, is that her name?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Emily, yeah.
She
led
was
the tour.
She was very cool.
Yeah.
The tour or the tour?
Yeah.
Depends on if you're Tyler or not.
depends
Or
on
if you're
if
a
you're
pretentious
Michigander.
pretentious asshole. So what I thought I loved about Emily was that she was just so like straightforward and like blunt, but like sarcastic at the same. And then she took everything we had to give,
And rolled with it.
and
Yeah, I mean,
and rolled with it just fine.
She
Yeah.
knows, she embraces what she has to do, I think, and you can tell that she's passionate about it. I've been on other tours where it's the end of the day, you've had a couple drinks, a bunch of guys being rowdy, it's like they're kind of irritated, and she like embraced it.
It
and
just
loved
kind of rolled off her back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I thought she did a great
I also
job.
liked that I thought the best part that she did was she knew we were pretty bourbon savvy.
Yeah.
We haven't, we've done a million tours, and so she kind of really, I
Skipped,
think,
51%
yeah,
bourbon
she skipped
or
all
51% corn.
she skipped kind of the things that you always hear in a usual tour and kind of tailored it to us, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
She read the room.
She did.
Yeah, that's
she
a good-
read
yeah,
the
That's
room.
Well
that's
said,
exactly
well said.
it. She recognized who the customer was, and then gave the tour custom to
Yeah.
our.
I
group.
think she was pretty damn knowledgeable too.
No,
and
she
it's
was,
clear.
for
It's
sure.
clear that she's been some places within the industry, not only in that role, but like multiple roles within the industry.
She said she
so.
worked at Four Roses and
Four Roses
Old
and-
Forester, did she say?
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Old Forester.
Old Forester in operations.
And I think that's a great point because
Yeah.
you're right. She was knowledgeable. She told us some side stories that just went perfect with what we were talking about at the time.
Yeah,
And she kind of pulled those out of her pocket when someone brought something else up
Yeah,
that wasn't
yeah.
part of her. She wasn't trying to get back to her
yeah.
spiel.
And I
she
think
would just kind of take
I think
what you
depending
said.
on the tour you're taking and where it is, you'll get some guides that do their best to know the distillery and have their like script where it's clear that
Yeah.
she was much more knowledgeable beyond that.
Perfect example of that is I went to Buffalo Trace for my very first time about 2 months before I went with you
Yeah.
for our first ever trip.
Yeah.
And we had a tour. Trina and I had a tour. It was called the Taste of Trace or something like that. And so it was a tour, and then you finished with a tasting. And we got taken in there where you go in now and you get your band and you check in and everything. Used to be a place where they had like a display of barrels that showed how empty they went after so many years and stuff like that with the Angel Share. Plus, it had a screen and it would have a video that they played. And so they just sat us in there in like some church pews basically and showed a video to us, took us around a couple places, took us to the OFC Rick House, and then we went back up and did our tasting. And that was the tour. When you and I went, we did the exact same tour, and it was only 3 months later. I can't believe the tour would have changed that much in that time.
Sure.
And we had that Logan Haynes guy, who is now Basement Rick House on IG, and he didn't show a video at all.
Nope.
But he was on the tasting panel. So he knew just extra stuff that other people didn't know. And so he didn't show us a video. He just talked the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was so much more like engaging and so much more interesting. And it was such a better experience. And I feel like that's what we got today with her, was the knowledgeable person who's been in the industry but knows really all of the content and all of the information there is to know. But what I loved about it is, like I said, like if Brett said something off the wall, had nothing to do with what she was about to talk about, didn't phase her, and she'd maybe have a story about that.
Yeah.
She wasn't rushing to get back to her script,
also,
you know?
she was young. This wasn't someone that had been,
compared to you're old now. So I mean,
industry for
fucking dust.
Yeah, I mean, now that you're as old as you are, she does probably seem young to you.
Oh man,
creep.
It just set in on him, I think.
It did.
Yeah. Just hit him. Look at him.
So
closer to 30 than 40.
Yeah, just barely.
Which
just
if
barely.
she's that, I don't. Tyler said she's young, but she's probably the same age.
She's probably 30,
early 30s.
31.
Yeah, say 30, 31. I agree.
She said she had been.
She's been doing this for 8 years. I think is what she said. She's been.
I think she said 2018.
So she's
she
at least
started
29.
Beam. She left and came back. She came back a year and a half ago. But regardless, however old she is, to be that knowledgeable, and them giving her the trust to give us the tour to where they're not
a
giving
VIP
people
tour. What it was supposed to be. It was a VIP tour.
The V is very
very
for us.
And that Fred building.
It's not just IP.
It's like
it was
underlined.
VIP.
Yeah.
And that Fred No distillery building, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right? That's what.
Yeah.
She said that it's not open to the public, so they're only letting certain people go in there. So
Right,
I
that's
just
what the
meant
V is for.
That's
That's
how
what the
knowledgeable
V
she is.
The
if they
V is
trust her.
for getting into that building.
The V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Always
everyone that
always
goes
get
there
into
is
the V
IP.
is what the
We're
moral story
VIP.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the V.
It's all about the V.
No, I
All about
want to
the
claim
V.
credit for this, but to be honest, what it was is they recognized Tyler's name, saw that it was his birthday, and they're like, "What can we do for Tyler?"
Was that what
couldn't
it was?
be farthest
No,
from the truth.
it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't.
Well, that was kind of cool. But didn't they do it for his birthday, though?
They did, but also our Ariel, who was on the Legacy Tour group, she was one of the people in that group of 5 that she was talking about.
Oh, okay.
She recognized us because we had interviewed her a couple years ago.
Got it.
And
Wasn't it Ron that called Ariel Hariola?
No.
Was that someone else?
That was the Amazon Prime driver.
Oh, that's
beside
right.
us.
You called someone Hariola.
Holy shit!
Boogie get now.
You're going to get us
Yeah.
expelled from Jim Beam now. That
No,
was
I
not
just-
Ariel that he was talking about.
All I remember is him calling someone Hariola.
No,
that Amazon
that
driver
was the
was
Amazon-
getting
That was the
Hariola.
Amazon driver getting down in
we
the car.
were driving
That's
beside
what
an
it was.
Amazon driver on the way back to this Airbnb.
Ariola.
And as we're passing her, Ron was like, "Oh my gosh, that girl's getting down in the Amazon truck." He's like, "Slow down, slow down."
By
So-
getting down, dancing,
dancing,
not going down on anybody.
dancing. And so we slowed down so that she can pull back up beside us, and indeed, she was dancing. And so she passed us, and then we start to pass her again, and we're trying to convince Tyler to dance, so he wouldn't. So I decided to start dancing as I'm driving, seat dancing or whatever you want to call it. And she apparently saw it, and
Oh yeah, no.
She
She noticed and she
and
started
Ron
waving.
said he couldn't pronounce it right. He
thought
said
it was gonna be a nip slip.
She showed us her Hariola.
as opposed to her Ariola.
He just mispronounced areola
That's what it was.
or hairy nipple. Maybe that's,
Then it
what-
came out like areola, hairy nipple. It was like a hybrid of the two.
that's probably exactly what happened.
Babe,
And then
Babe, I just want you to know I love you very much.
She doesn't listen to this unless she's in
Her
bed
dad's-
alone.
Her dad's probably going to listen.
Nobody wants to see a hariola.
Unless
number
she's in
one,
bed alone.
Okay.
And Ron's at work, and you know what? I'm going to listen to the Bourbon Hunters. It's time for some meat.
It wasn't like he said, it's a
She lights
nice
up a few
Hariola.
candles.
Hey, Ron, does
She puts in a bath bomb.
Does
she
her
gets
dad
out
actually
She gets
listen?
out her nice iPod and iPod. And from 2001.
I thought it was a Zune.
It's the Zune. She gets out her Zune.
Zune.
Does it allow you to listen to podcasts?
Isn't that Microsoft?
She listens
It is.
Yes.
to
Yeah.
Bourbon
She
Hunters.
downloads it from her Apple iPad
From her LimeWire account
over
and
to
then
her
download
Zune,
and ports it to her
and then
Zune.
she listens to it in her Zune while she's in her bath bomb.
Was Zune always Microsoft?
Yes.
Yeah, and they went brown. That was their thing. They were brown.
Brown and
It was like an
they
orangish.
had they had
Is that a code brown?
a maroon.
Code
Might have well been
Code
because
brown.
Zunes were shit.
Good recall. Thanks, JD.
The other thing nice, you could just like drag and drop
That was
songs
your
into 'em,
son swimming.
as
Code
opposed to
brown.
using iTunes.
Code brown.
You could just drag and drop MP3
Code
files
brown.
into them.
Oh God! Did you ever hear that episode when his son shit his pants in the swimming pool
Oh yeah.
and they had to shut down the place? They
I was
called
gonna
it
say
Code
if you
about that.
did not hear about that.
No, I heard that.
That was one of the
Ron,
best.
did you hear about this?
That was one of the best short
You have-
stories.
Dude, oh my
I
god!
remember after I heard it, I was like, yeah, so many poop stories.
Dude,
You're
so many
surprised
poop
that
stories,
Jason was
and they're
on that
all
show.
within the
It
last
was one
like
of the
year.
best short stories we've had on the show.
Pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
Carter, right? Not-
Yeah, so Carter, I had him at swim lessons at like Goldfish, right? And he's swimming around, and then I was like holding on to him. I'm like, that feels a little squishy in the backside. Like that doesn't feel like skin or something. And I was like, oh, that's fucking shit. And then I see that there's shit in the water, like
no.
diarrhea shit, not like a couple
Not a
turds
solid
that I could,
turd.
like,
It was
swipe
probably
and
solid
throw
till
in
he
my
was
pants or
patting it
something.
to see what it was, and it
Right,
probably
yeah.
smushed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Created a nice
And I
little
was like,
paste.
I was like,
Shit
I
up his
looked at
back.
the instructor. I'm like, he just pooped himself, and she's like, code brown, like just like over. She's like just like leaning over, like code brown. And they cleared the pool,
Shut it down for the
shut
day.
it down,
They had to drain the water.
canceled all the rest of the
They brought in
classes.
Bill Murray to squeeze
And those
out the
places
water.
have like 50 kids in the pool.
It's fine.
It's like, and I'm just the
Just a
shit,
Baby Ruth.
shit kid dad. And then the worst part
But
about
no,
it
no,
is,
here, hold on. Let me tell the rest of this part, and then you can say what you're going to say. The best part is from that point forward, they decided they just had to quit lessons. They weren't
yeah,
ever
we
going
haven't
back
taken
again.
him back.
They weren't going back again. They were quitting.
But also to be fair, that he
He's
was.
like, Dad, why can't I swim?
We would
Well,
probably
son,
pay
you
for
shit
it.
the pool.
It wasn't.
Code brown. Do you
It was
remember?
pretty
Do you
late.
remember
in the,
what code
one,
brown
it was
means?
pretty late in the summer, and then he was swimming often at his grandparents, so it was like whatever. But it was just.
Hey, did the grandparents ever have a code
the worst
brown?
part about that is like we went over, like I showered, I rinsed them off in like the public area, but then I took him to a bathroom and they had a changing table, and like he was just like laying in poop water. Just his own poop
was
water.
it a single malt
And
from
I just
Portland?
luckily, I had a bag of wipes, and I'm just like, it was basically gave him a freaking wipe bath.
Was it
Yeah.
a single malt from Portland?
I don't know. Yeah,
What's that like
probably.
Parks and Rec when he's talking about? He was like, sometimes when I wipe, it's like wiping like a
Yes.
felt marker.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I just keep wiping and wiping.
That's a meme now or a reel
Yeah.
now. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and I forget the
love that
actress.
story.
Like he did that.
It's
like,
that he's the one
Dude.
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And but he ad libbed that whole thing.
Oh,
if you look at the actress
they're
behind
dying.
him,
What's her
She
name?
like turns her face like she almost loses her shit on camera.
There's so no.
So
this
he's
is
from
in Parks
Guardians
and
of the
Rec.
Galaxy.
This
Chris
is from Parks and
Pratt.
Rec.
He's in Parks
He's
and Rec.
incredible in Parks
Who
and
was
Rec.
his girlfriend that he ended up marrying in that show?
April.
Yeah. So she's in the
I'll be like,
background while he's telling the story, and she's ducking her head because she's about to die
Yeah,
laughing.
because it was just he ad libbed the whole thing.
Some of the best reels are the outtakes from Parks and Rec
Yeah.
when he just goes off script.
What does he throw? The one where he throws, he jumps over the desk and he throws something and just destroys the fucking light switch.
Oh.
They can't. They gotta like shut down the scene to replace the electricity.
There was another one too where he just ad libbed the scene where he's looking up like some malady or something on WebMD, and it gave him he wasn't connected to the internet, and it gave him a response, and he says it looks like your problem might be, and he
Yeah,
reads
looks like
off
you have
the-
low internet connectivity.
and it's like,
Yeah,
to
he
like
ad-libbed that whole
gonorrhea or
thing.
something like that.
Yeah.
And he ad libbed that whole thing, and they just they died. And so if you listen to the director when he's talking about the funniest Chris Pratt moment, he's like, it was that one. He's like, it was completely off script.
I fucking love Parks and Rec.
Well, it was
No,
a
yeah.
great show.
No, the funniest moment is when it wasn't part of the show, but he broke the cast when they were like filming, and they're like, "Come on, guys, let's think of a good comeback
story. And he's like,
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, Kim Kardashian.
And she goes,
that the video. Everyone,
and the blonde
yeah.
goes, I don't think so. He goes, well, he came
Yeah,
on her back.
He came on her back in the video. Yeah,
and the whole group.
yeah, they
that's
died.
a great one. I
Died.
forgot about that scene. Or
I like the
takeout.
clip when Ron Swanson shares his Lagavulin with him.
Oh.
Yeah,
And I don't think he's ever had peated scotch in his life. Because he takes a sip and almost spits it back out. He's like, smooth.
Ron Swanson was like
Hilarious,
between
yeah.
Chris Pratt and him. Those were like two
yeah.
polar.
He was a national
great.
treasure.
What's
Yeah.
his name?
Rob Lowe?
No. Tom.
Adam Scott? Oh.
Tom is fucking
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah, the Indian guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Hilarious.
funny. Treat yourself.
Yeah, he got canceled.
Did he?
In real life?
Yeah, he got canceled.
Oh, canceled, but he's back now.
Oh, yeah.
He's back now.
He is, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen him do anything.
Did he
he's-
say
he's
something
back
like
now.
offensive, or
He
to get
said
canceled?
something.
Aziz Ansari.
No, he
did say
got
something.
He got accused of sexual misconduct,
Harassment.
That's the go-to.
harassment.
That's the go-to.
That's the word. Harassment.
He was great in that.
Heresy.
Jerry's character is fucking classic.
It's just a good show.
Yeah.
I just love that for the first 3 years they always called him something else, right? It wasn't
Larry
Jerry.
and
They called
Jerry.
him Gary or
Gary.
it's
No, his
something.
real name is Gary Gergich.
Yeah.
And they always
were
called him
calling-
Jerry.
They were calling him Jerry.
That's what it was.
And they call him
then-
Larry, too, I thought.
But then at the end of the show, I think they call him Jerry, and he looks around like, "Who are you talking to?"
yeah.
Or they called him by
Well,
the right name.
yeah.
And he looks around like, "Who?" And he
Yeah.
almost didn't
The-
expect his name.
And also the fact that he has a
I'm about to
smoking
sit
hot
down.
wife and family,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
that's
like it
Christy
just
Brinkley.
adds to
yeah,
it.
in
Yeah,
the show it was
Yeah, it
hilarious.
was
They
Christy
go visit
Brinkley.
him.
Oh, Christy Brinkley's a freaking national treasure, man. That chick is like in her 60s, and I would still
Hey.
marry her.
Is that
How
what
much you
would do
getting
to her? You
to
would marry her?
babysit that?
I would take her.
Why are you going to ruin her life?
Sounds like you're putting her above Jackie Zykan.
I mean, you know what? Jackie had her chance, and she just,
She was on our
that
podcast.
ship has sailed.
She
That
had
ship has
she had a
sailed.
chance to flirt
She
with.
had her chance.
She was on the podcast and she didn't take up Brett's.
Dude, is that
very
still your
abrupt.
first drink?
Sure regret it.
No, this is my second. I got
Sure
sweet.
regret it.
Did you?
As far as you know.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
Yeah, let's.
He just doesn't want to have an accident.
During
An
that
accident.
interview,
I didn't have an accident.
Brett during
I
that
puked.
interview was like a little schoolgirl, nervous.
He was, and he was
yeah.
he
The
was
whole time.
trying.
Yeah, were ya?
He was
Oh.
fishing, and he was fishing.
And
Yeah.
He was throwing out things. Oh, you like hiking too? I love to hike.
Ever since Neat, I
And,
didn't
it,
have the
and it was
biggest
on a
crush
Zoom,
Jackie.
so you could see
It was-
every
yeah.
facial expression that he gave.
Oh, it was
and
so
he was
bad.
like,
Could you see my pants?
No, because you had a pillow sitting on your lap.
were you
Exactly.
wearing
We
light
saw the
gray
time-
sweatpants like
first
you are
time-
right now?
We saw the
No,
pillow
it's
move.
Gray sweatpants
Yeah,
season?
the first time she ever came on my podcast, I was sitting.
Good thing you said podcast.
Yeah, came on the podcast. Okay, I'm sorry. I interviewed
What
her
kind of
on
podcast
the,
you-
on the,
There
on
you
the
go.
YouTube channel. She,
There you go.
I remember the first time, I saw that she was in backstage, and I brought her in. And I'm just like kind of looking. I'm like, "Hey, Jackie, nice to meet you. Give me 1 second." I got up and I took off my headphone and I muted my mic and I was just like, I go behind the camera and I was like, "Wow!" And then I went back and I sat down. Okay, I'm back.
Had something to attend to.
yeah. I had to move the camera a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not in the.
I
right
didn't
angle.
tuck in belt.
Sucking in the belt.
It was a tuck. It was a tuck.
The 12 o'clock tuck.
Yeah, the 12 o'clock tuck.
The 12 o'clock.
Speaking of pillows,
Speaking of 12 o'clock tucks,
it'd be so nice if they could sew pillows into shirts for your size when you're sitting on the couch. Is that the most glorious thing ever? It's just such a fat kid move of like, yeah, it's a
why
fat
don't you
kid
just
move.
move the pillow there and
You,
then lean on?
no, but if you had a T-shirt with pillows built in,
kind of like a snuggie.
it's also like we call it TC Tugger. Like if we had a little thing,
Tugger?
TC Tugger.
The fuck does that stand for?
So you know how like if
like
you're
a
fat,
s'mores
you like
crunch
pull,
or a
you know how
rusty
if you're
trombone.
fat, you pull your shirt off your stomach.
I don't know.
Yeah, you
What's
just
the T and the C?
well, if you just built in a little tugging thing, you could just tug your shirt away.
You didn't answer my question. What's the T and what's the C?
Total chub.
Ooh, I don't know what it's for.
Tyler Chubb
I
Tugger.
don't know what it's for.
Total chub tugger.
Total. I don't know. What
Tyler
It's for.
Tyler
Chubb.
Chubb Tugger.
You need a little loop to grab your shirt off your fat.
Yeah,
Titty
so
chub? I don't know.
what's
Like,
I mean, there's
What
a
does
term
TC
called
stand for?
TC Chin, but that's the guy's name.
Side on the couch is such a good fat kid move.
I'm
You don't do
not-
that.
I'm
You
not
don't instantly
denying that.
grab.
We all
pillows
want to
and
know what the TC means.
Put them all around you.
You're ignoring the real question.
You don't do
here.
that?
I don't do
I think
that.
we all.
You better be looking
listen,
through me because I'm not answering
Yeah.
shit.
First
Yeah,
off,
he's running straight through you.
you're selling something that's already sold. We all agree that it's a great product idea. Answer why it's called TC.
I don't know.
Why is it called a rusty
It's like
I don't know.
It's like my wife when
Well,
she asks
let me
for
show
something,
you.
I say, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do it," and she keeps telling me why it's a good idea. I'm like, "You already made the sale. Move on. You made the sale."
JD, I just made this observation. Like, there's so much going on in your shirt. There's like an octopus that's in outer space,
Holding a bourbon
and it's
barrel.
holding a bourbon barrel. There's so much
It's a
going on.
Kraken.
It's a Kraken.
I thought a
you
kraken
take
was a
some, like-
squid. That looks like an octopus.
No, that's a kraken.
It's a
Is that a
Kraken with
Kraken?
bourbon
Okay.
barrel.
I thought
That's the same as the Kraken.
I thought
that
a Kraken
in,
was a squid.
Pirates
Release-
of the Caribbean.
Kind of is.
Released a
But
kraken.
like, I feel like that's an octopus.
It's squid-like.
It's not a rum shirt though. It's not like the Kraken rum.
It's the Kraken.
It's a barrel of whiskey.
I mean, I'm not complaining. I enjoy all the things on there. I think that octopi are really cool,
They're aliens.
I am a Red
I
Wings
think-
fan, and they're known for throwing squids on the ice.
which is
They're
kind of
fucking
fucked up
aliens.
because they're just dying. I think they're aliens, legit, like from the ocean.
Yeah.
Ocean aliens.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
outer space is really cool.
I'm more of an apple pie guy, not so much.
I mean, they call sharks what, aqua puppies?
Yeah, those things are like prehistoric.
I don't think
Fuck
they
those
do that.
things.
I think that's maybe what your parents told
Sharks
you they
are
were
like
called,
from
so
the
you wouldn't be
dinosaur
scared of
era,
going in
man.
the ocean.
aqua puppies.
I think his
Yeah.
parents told him that, so he wouldn't be scared of going
Same
into
with
the
like
ocean.
Is that what you
alligators and
become
shit,
when you empty
crocodiles.
the pool from
Yeah.
shitting in it?
Aqua-
Yeah,
aqua-
aqua
hey,
puppy.
When you break the bowl
JD,
from
honey,
shitting in it.
go in the ocean. It's just aqua puppies.
They just want to be pet and like rubbed. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, they're little aqua puppies. They'll snuggle up to you. It's fine.
I've seen videos where people swim with them and
Yeah,
flip them
And
upside
they-
down and rub their
right,
belly.
Rub their bellies.
Yeah, they're like dogs. That's why.
Just don't rub a dolphin's belly. Just don't
Yeah.
rub a dolphin's
Sharks.
belly.
It'll hump you.
It'll hump you. That's foreplay for a
Dolphins are
dolphin.
the only other animal that have sex for pleasure, I think, and not
Yeah.
just like for reproduction.
Because
They will
they
take advantage
because
of
of all the
humans.
surveys they sent out, they're the only ones that answered yes.
Yeah.
How do
well,
we know
they're
that?
just horny little
I mean,
bastards
honestly,
anyway.
I'm pretty sure dogs
I think
probably
they fucking like rape,
don't just have sex
like
because
pufferfish or something too.
No, they get high off of them.
Oh yeah, they do something like that.
They bump them so that they.
I'm
something
going
weird.
to say
They
that
get high
that's
off the
probably not true.
Google it.
The pufferfish
I'm not
thing?
saying that what they say isn't that. I'm saying that
Are you a
first
marine
off,
biologist?
there's no way they would know that. First
No,
off,
dolphins are allowed.
I mean, I'm friends with a
motherfuckers.
marine biologist.
See,
That's got to.
I'm not a marine biologist.
I'm
I
not
can't
saying
make a
they're not.
statement.
I'm saying they're not the only ones that do it for pleasure. I
you
think.
think there's
I
other
think a
ones
lot
that
of
do it?
animals probably do it for pleasure. They don't get that red rocket for no reason.
How many animals
sure-
have sex for
I'm
pleasure?
sure monkeys do it all the time. You always see
Yeah,
them jerking off.
monkeys are beating off all the time, right in
Siri
front of you.
can't.
That's not sex.
Siri doesn't know how to respond to that
What is
question.
it?
Masturbation.
Okay, so when you do it at work, will
you
it be
Siri-ing
considered
that?
I
sex?
Siri'd that.
Will they say that you're doing it for
Martell is
pleasure, or will they
Siri-ing
say you're
it.
just
Siri
doing it
couldn't
because
answer.
you're?
I'm doing it for medical
You're
reasons.
descended from apes.
I need to exercise my prostate, so it's medical reasons.
Fair enough, but is
thought
it
you were
pleasurable?
saying- I thought you were saying that dolphins don't know that they're getting high off of pufferfish.
No, they know that they're getting high off of it.
Right,
Yeah.
because jaguars do that with
What?
ayahuasca.
Where did pufferfish go? I didn't miss that part.
Yeah, they're like one of the animals that get high for like fun too.
Yeah.
Like a dog doesn't be like, well, let me find some weed and smoke it.
because
Like,
they
cats
don't
do.
have
cat do.
opposable thumbs. They don't know how to hold weed.
Well, they should evolve to grow them. Okay.
Like again,
what-
if you get your dog high, you
Actually,
think
I
it's not going to enjoy
no,
it?
I think it's really bad to get dogs high. I think.
I'm sure it probably is. That's not the point.
have
Whether
an
it's good or
animal.
bad, it's not good for humans to get high either. My point is how do you know that a dog's not going to do it and then want to do it again?
That's why jaguars.
You can't
get
talk
high
to a
off
dog and
ayahuasca
ask
all
him,
the time.
"Hey, did you enjoy that? Would you like to do it again?"
It's like ruh-roh, Raggy. Didn't you watch Scooby Doo? He got high all the time.
right, and he enjoyed it, and he got high.
He's like, what a Scooby snack?
I had a random thought today.
Let's hear
We were
it.
at Wild Turkey.
Have that random thought with that microphone a little closer to your mouth.
Is this close enough?
That's perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. There we go. I had a random thought today while at Wild Turkey, and this is. I feel like I'm kissing the microphone.
No,
you're good.
that's what we're hoping
Kiss it,
for.
Big Daddy.
Ooh.
Make love to it.
This is one
Barry
of those
White that
SMR.
shit.
What is it? SMR?
ASMR.
ASMR episodes. You're still not doing it as loud as Tyler. It's fine.
So I was
there you
in Wild Turkey, and you know how Matthew McConaughey used to be affiliated with them. They had the Long Branch. Does anybody else feel like they missed the mark and could have had a really good opportunity if they made that a rye? You know, he's out there playing pool, gets in his Lincoln, and he holds up the rye.
And then
you know,
sits on his
Long
front lawn
Branch,
and
and
plays
he's
the
just
bongos
like,
naked.
all rye, all rye, all rye.
Matthew McConaughey?
I feel
Yes.
like that's a Reddit joke that maybe you just tried to steal.
I like that though.
That could have worked, I guess.
All right.
Like Gracious.
Doesn't
I
Long
mean,
Branch make
It only
rye?
works if he's sitting on
Long
his
Branch
lawn
make-
naked.
or Wild
playing
Turkey makes
bongos.
Long
Long
Branch.
Branch doesn't
Right.
make a rye.
I thought
Wild
there was a
Turkey
Long
makes
Branch.
Long Branch.
No, but I thought there was a Long Branch rye. There's not.
No. There's a Wild Turkey rye.
I know that. I know the difference.
Well, but do you? Because you thought Long Branch had a rye
That's what I just said.
No, Long Branch is just a bourbon finished with mesquite wood.
that Matthew McConaughey was the master distiller for.
Right.
All right.
Speaking of fraternities, we were talking about earlier. Matthew McConaughey is an alumni of my fraternity.
Oh, yeah.
Not my
he's
local.
he's an alumnus.
Okay. No, so not my local chapter, but like the same like national fraternity. He was a member of it in University of Texas.
So they've swapped spit before, share blood.
Speaking of
paddled
jaguars and
Matthew
ayahuasca, have you guys heard the story of Matthew McConaughey getting inside of a cage with a freaking mountain lion, a cougar? You didn't hear about that?
Wait a minute, was it a cougar or a mountain lion? Because this
They're
could be
the same
like
thing.
They're same thing.
well,
So
a 40-year-old
woman?
single woman
Yeah.
versus.
I mean,
Well, that's my wife.
I get in the
but
cage
she
with a
makes me call her
40-year-old
Puma,
single woman.
a
Well, not
cougar.
single, I guess,
What
but
makes you call her Puma?
She Puma pants.
water.
Oh.
Yeah,
Short story. Short
I'll
story.
find this. I'll find the video and send it to you guys. The interview with him. It's insane what he was thinking doing this. If you've
That was a
not read
great
his book.
story. If that's the end of it.
He literally is in the middle of the desert.
Sweet wheat. We haven't talked about sweet wheat. Let's nose it real quick. Then you can.
I've been drinking it.
Knows it. We're halfway through it.
the bottle's almost gone.
I just had my first glass.
I don't love sweet wheat. I'm sorry for whoever brought this. I just don't love sweet wheat.
JD brought it.
I
and-
like it.
Sweet wheat
you hear
doesn't.
that?
It doesn't taste like anything.
That's how
But it
I
doesn't-
feel.
yeah.
it's completely flat.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, we
It's-
just
I-
we just came from a hot.
It's
from
hard
a
to
hot
find
wheat.
and everything.
There's nothing to it.
I think it tastes fine.
Tell
depending
me,
on-
Rye. I don't know where that comes
Yeah. Ain't nothing but a bird.
I think that could be better.
Tell me right. So I will make this argument for sweet wheat. I think it is a very very soft
wheat.
product, and I think that coming from what we just came from, it's going to taste like nothing.
Yes.
I think when I've had it in other situations, it's come off as very good.
I remember like 3 years ago, Tyler brought this on the show. He wanted it in a Raz. We recorded
Yep.
it in the top of the gym.
Yep.
Because it was like COVID
Yep.
era, something like that.
Yep.
And I was like, eh.
Right, but that again, we did it at the end after some pretty
Yeah.
good hitters. We've done it also since then on another episode where it ended up being really good. But I think that plays a big part of it. Where is it in the lineup?
It tastes like a glass of candy, Boston cream.
What are you
sugar,
guys drinking?
Sugar cookie.
I get the sugar cookie on the nose.
Let me taste this thing. This is you guys are.
I get the sugar
I
cookie
thi-
on the nose.
Are
What
you
are
not drinking it right now, Jason? Oh, you're
You still on your?
the
You're
Pappy?
still milking.
He's still
the-
drinking his
Oh,
Pappy.
and no one's giving him shit. He's still on his pappy.
I told him.
You told him what? For me to drink?
I did the same motion.
Yeah.
to you.
Well,
what did you say you get on this?
I get the sugar cookie.
Boston cream.
It's
Sugar
sugar
cookie.
cookies.
I get sugar cookie.
I get sugar
get a
cookie.
cream
He gets a cookie
Nilla
bar.
wafers. I get Nilla
Oh,
wafers.
Nilla
too.
wafer. But
My
sugar
problem.
cookie,
My
Nilla
problem
wafer.
with this bourbon isn't with the nose. It's
The
with the palate. It
goddamn
does
thing
nothing.
smells like
Well,
Tim
the-
Hortons.
The palate
It's
is
the palate
Tim
does nothing.
Tidbits.
the
It's
palate's
AW cream
soft.
soda.
It's soft.
It's lightly
Yeah.
oaky.
AW cream soda.
The
I
palate's
got
soft, lightly
200
oaky,
Timbits. Could we
and
crush
there's
them
no
tonight?
viscosity
There's
to
absolutely no finish and
Banana
no
pudding.
viscosity.
Yeah.
I'd rather
It
drink.
is.
I'd rather
It does.
drink fucking
Banana
liquid
pudding with
IV.
some vanilla wafers.
You know what it
and
comes
whipped
off?
cream.
Yeah, that's what I was going
Well,
to
at
say.
least it has flavor.
Banana
What should be
cream
more-
pie.
The child in the room wants
Come
to
on,
speak.
man. She's got legs for
So
days.
Tyler said banana pudding with
does
vanilla
Basil
cream with Nilla wafer like topping. That's what this actually tastes like. But it's
It
very
tastes like
soft.
a dessert.
But
crumble.
everything
Dessert.
you said in
But the
there is
vanilla
a very
wafer's
very
crumbled.
soft, airy, light dessert.
The graham cracker crust.
But you know what I mean? Like everything you said is right, but all of
I
what
know.
you said is a very soft dessert. Oh, I know. His head just. Hey, his head grew 3 sizes that day.
Oh, Jason's getting serious
It
now.
does taste like pudding.
Pudding?
It does. It's
This-
like a vanilla pudding with Nilla wafers on
Have
it.
you heard that joke about Bill
candy.
Cosby and
And,
pudding?
and you know what? Hey, I say this because he didn't come up with it. Heath whispered it into his ear.
This to
He
to
didn't
me
come up with
is
it on his own.
Like what?
I saw the whispers, and then
You don't have the mic. Shut up.
I would pour that over ice cream.
Banana pudding and the vanilla wafer crumble.
right,
First
which was 90% of what he
sip,
said.
First sip, I get what you guys are saying. Second sip, dies.
I
think-
it's very flat for me as well. Seriously, I'm just like,
No,
oh,
and
it's
second sip,
Hey,
it's dead.
no one said it was robust. No one said
It's
that
not
it's with
bold.
this all night.
I know, but I'm like, you
Dude.
guys are like spouting all these like super sweet flavors.
No.
It doesn't taste. It smells like
It is
it's
sweet.
flat.
Very
It is
sweet.
very sweet, but it's also soft. I said soft at the same time.
Oh,
But it's
soft.
flat.
It's
Dude.
very soft.
this
soft.
bourbon's making
It's
me
Harry
soft.
It's soft like a
Hey.
like a sock.
It's
Dude.
Hariola.
Like this soft like a hariola,
Areola.
like a warm hariola.
Yeah, I get the banana bread that you're talking about.
I also
That's
want to
it.
know when Ron's ordering some
Hooters.
Some Hooters.
I'm still full from that effing pizza, man.
Easy.
I'm fucking
Those
Hooters.
Calabrian chilies just keep repeating on me. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been eating the
together?
tubs, man.
I had to take a fucking Prilosec.
Did you just
I was
pour
eating the
those
tubs.
together?
Yeah, I mix them.
Hey, they're
He
weeds.
does that
Serious
all the
mix.
time.
Dude, this to me is
You're
I do it all
you're a
the time.
blender.
I like
I'm about ready to open
He's,
that wild
he's a blender.
turkey.
His motto is a blender.
Your Weller small batch.
what
Right,
Sazerac,
Brett?
I
His
feel like
motto
the
was a
poor
blender.
man's pappy will
Yeah.
give that some flavor.
dude.
It smells like
What
weed.
Sazerac rye is
Banana
Candy.
Wheaties.
to
banana
rye.
wheat.
Yeah, is what this is to
Yes,
wheat.
what Sazerac rye is to
Frosted mini
rye.
wheats.
Okay.
But
What Sazerac rye is to rye, this is to the wheats for me. It's very flat.
Yeah.
Like doesn't have a lot.
I don't like to drink.
I like how he's
wheat.
holding it like a
Right?
rapper
I feel like
right
he
now.
looks like he's like
He's
LL
rapper.
Cool J.
Yeah,
Out to like,
yeah, 1, 2, yeah,
What up? Yeah.
yeah.
So
Tyler.
DJ
I don't
Khaled.
like to eat and drink very much, but this definitely needs to go with something dessert.
Like Hooters.
Like if you're eating
Like
this
Hooters
with a
hot
pie or
wings.
something lighter,
Right.
like something creme brulee,
Like a McDonald's
it's gonna be
apple pie.
perfect. But and
Banana
I don't normally
pudding.
Like
I would pour
Bourbon
banana
with.
I'd pour it over ice cream like a
Right?
banana split.
I'd
Yeah.
pour it over my mashed potatoes.
ooh, you know you should pour it over that Neapolitan.
I'd pour it over my good times. No issues there.
My mashed taters.
My good times.
All right, so we've got a -4 on the scale from Jason.
-4.
Just wait for it to open up. It's a Hyman pour.
I'm
Open
glad
up.
I mean,
It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah,
It's
we're
2/3 gone.
about half done.
I don't think that's what he means. I don't think he means for the bottle to be almost gone. I think he means for a chance to interact with some oxygen.
I'm on my. That'll be my third pour of that shit.
Call him bullshit.
Hey, what did we say? No maturation without oxidation. That's right. That's a new shirt I'm going to make.
I feel like
No
I would put
maturation
this. I feel like I would put
without
this on the shelf
oxidation.
right next to
Oxidation.
my
Yeah.
Angel's Envy.
You got that from our
Rye.
one episode.
Rye.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just let it
You're
sit.
one.
Yeah.
The one.
Turn it
one.
into maple
The one.
syrup.
Well, if I want
Which-
to drink them,
The
like,
Texas
they both
Austin
taste
Still.
November 29th
same.
one, I think.
It was the Austin Still one because I don't like Texas whiskeys.
You don't
because
like
they
Garrison Brothers.
Oh, that
I
was
don't- I
rough, dude. That Garrison brother.
Garrison Brothers is harsh.
I just don't like. I just don't like Texas whiskeys because they don't actually.
That's a
oxidize.
lie. We
Mike.
like the one at Jason's house.
Like if you buy this, it's going to sit
No,
right
we didn't.
between the Angel's Envy rye.
It finished last
and
when we did the final.
and
The Blantons.
Hayden's
They
Caribbean.
did.
Pretty much.
Like right in,
I have a bottle of that. I
Dude,
gave.
like
I had a bottle that I gave it away. I'm like, I don't want it.
DJ Khaled.
Welcome back.
How's TC?
No, can't do it.
Tugging.
Tugging TC.
TC Tugger.
TC Tugger.
All right. So, what do you think on the sweet wheat? What's your?
I really enjoy it. I always have.
Yeah. So that means
What was
Jason's
MSR?
right.
You got it for MSRP on it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if you
15
pay
bucks,
MSRP on that, I would pick
One
it
I'd
up.
buy a
anyway.
bottle for 15
No,
bucks.
50.
5-0.
Stick it on the shelf.
for $15.
What is that
I think
retail
this-
nowadays, Sweet Wheat?
It's like 60, isn't it?
I thought
50.
JD said 5-0.
Yeah, 50.
5
But
zero?
he also said Basil Hayden was 80.
This one in Georgia. It was
Yeah.
Georgia.
Georgia.
I mean, I think it's a
Was it JTT?
a moment type of drink.
Here's the problem: is we've got a
Jonathan
third of
Taylor
the bottle
Thomas?
left, and who's gonna finish it off?
Why don't we just go to the
If
Why don't we
anything,
just
I
go to
wanna
the
drink
Wild
it.
Turkey
It is.
The
and then
Kentucky
come back to
Spirit.
that?
and then come back?
Okay, let's go to the wild turkey then. That doesn't mean it.
But I get all kinds of
If Heath
flavors
wants it,
on
let
this.
Heath have it.
Well, Heath likes sweet wheat.
This is a moment for me.
You like your sweet wheat, right?
I've never had it.
On this, I
thought
get
you
like
guys bought a bottle.
Is there someone
mascarpone and
back there? Like, what's going on?
ladyfingers.
You're freaking me out, bro. Oh, dude, the walls are super thin. You can hear
You did
everyone
what?
upstairs.
Somebody upstairs.
I let a woman go in front of me in line, and she was number 6 and got the last bottle.
I thought you guys got it in Kentucky
fucking
one
kicked
time.
Why didn't you
No.
front kick her?
I
Right?
wanted to, but it was too late. I thought there was plenty to go around.
Oh, no.
And what
And
was
it
the
was the
lesson of that
last one.
story? Don't be nice.
Yeah,
fuck
don't let people in
Fuck
front
people.
of you.
Fuck
Fuck 'em.
everyone else.
Yeah,
But
Makes sense.
This is great.
Goddamn
Definitely
lines.
is softer, but
the
that's
Bourbon
all right.
Hunters podcast does not condone
The views and opinions.
the views and opinions of Heath.
When you think the lady,
No, I'm the one
behind
that
you-
said to kick him.
You did, but he jumped in all over that, and we were all talking about kicking that girl.
Hey, I've heard stories of that. I've heard stories of ladies playing dumb in line, like they don't know what
Of
they're gonna get.
this table?
yeah, I
then
believe that.
then they get ahead of you. They're
Oh,
like, yeah, I'll
yeah,
take
okay.
the stag. You're like, what the fuck? That happened to a friend of mine. She went ahead and grabbed the Colonel Taylor barrel proof. The whole time in the line, she's talking about Blanton. She got up there. He's like, oh, if you want Blanton's, go ahead. She goes up and grabs the last Colonel Taylor barrel proof. He was so pissed.
Who did that?
No fucking way.
A buddy of mine that used to wait online with all the time in Ohio.
I love that you say online.
On the line.
No, just online.
Yeah,
you say online.
But it's not in the line.
I'm just.
But he's
Most
sitting-
people in the U.S. say in line, except for the Northeast. They say I waited online.
Yeah.
That was the day chivalry died.
It was.
Yeah, you take a picture and it's on the line.
But I mean, that's the thing. She was building it up like, oh, I can't wait to get blends. My husband wants the blends. Well, he gets up there, goes Friday. Why don't you go up there and get the blends? There's only a couple left. He lets her go, and she's like, I'll take the Colonel Taylor.
But this isn't Instagram. As soon as you take the picture, it's on the line. It's completely different.
Than Instagram.
Yeah, because as soon as you take the picture, it's on the line.
Internship.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
Fair enough. I expected something more out of that, especially from this group, but everyone's in their damn phones right now. What the fuck's happening?
What are you talking about?
I know, because you can't do that later. It's a Snapchat. It's going to go away in 10 seconds.
All right, turkey time.
Turkey.
Real whiskey.
You gotta grab your throat.
Did anybody see the road signs over Thanksgiving saying "buckle, buckle"?
Yeah. I don't know who that jackass is that makes all those things in Ohio.
Were you the one that he saw in the gas station with the
so
fucking
stupid, but
Cookie
funny.
Monster hat? With the Cookie Monster hat?
Cookie Monster.
That's what I said.
And the Tweety Bird pajamas.
Your wife was with you with the Tweety Bird pajamas. You had the Cookie Monster hat. And you were, that's who it was.
Yeah.
It all makes
How'd you
sense
know?
now. It all makes sense.
All right, guys, that's the end of episode number 1 of our bottle kill from 2023. Tune in next week as the shenanigans start to pile up, as everyone starts to get a little bit more inebriated. The fun really starts next week, so don't miss that episode. Thanks again, and see you next week. Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for great bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you can't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can get better at improving our show. Good reviews help us bring better guests on for your listening pleasure, not mine. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.